Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Testing 1,
Hello,
2.
hello. Check.
Check.
Chicken in China, the Chinese chicken.
This feels very Lithia right now.
Lithia Christian
Lithia.
Academy.
Lithia Christian Academy.
Lithia Springs, Georgia.
Okay. The margaritas were a bad idea.
That's the soundbite right there.
Okay, so I don't remember the first time that we met because I was brand new to the world.
Newborn little baby. Yeah, I think.
So, once upon a time, back in September of 1988, the Earth. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. The Earth shifted.
I can't get over. Okay.
The Earth. Okay, hang on. Oh, God. These are like the giggles that you get in church and you can't stop. Do you remember visiting me?
I mean, I would have been barely 3.
3, yeah. So probably not.
I don't know if I vividly remember visiting you. I mean, I think I was young enough that I think you just kind of always existed and your parents always existed.
Yeah,
So,
same. Well, the story goes that I was born and your mom visited my mom in the hospital and brought you along. So you would have been freshly 3 years old.
yeah.
And so neither of us remember, but you have always been a fixture in my life.
Were you were you born at Douglas General or Cobb or where?
Cobb, yeah.
Ah, same.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we had the same doctor. Do you know?
Maybe.
I don't remember my doctor's
I don't
name.
either.
Yeah, same right here.
Yeah.
What? Austell, Georgia.
Austell, Georgia. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I think like connection wise, yeah, I mean, we always kind of existed because of like church and school and everything, but your mom was my kindergarten teacher. She's
Yeah.
also both my brother's kindergarten teacher. She was your
She was
kindergarten
my
teacher.
kindergarten teacher. Yeah. And my brothers and all of my cousins.
Yeah. Did you have to call her Miss Terry?
I did. She was very strict about me treating her like my teacher, and she treated me like any other student. One time she threatened to send me to the principal's office, which happened to be my uncle. But I was very much a perfectionist child, and I remember like being devastated that my mom had to like threaten to send me to the principal's office.
Yeah. What was the dynamic like on the ride home from that? Like, was she good about taking her hat off of like teacher and mom, like outside of school?
I think so. As best she could, but it was such a unique dynamic. We went to church where we went to school, which was, I think, so interesting for all of us, but for me in particular, because it was my family that ran all of those entities. And so I've really, looking back on my childhood, there was not a lot of distinction between church and school and family. It was all one and the same. And I feel like I was kind of raised by the greater village.
I was going to say like almost blurred lines, but not even that. It's just kind of how like existence existed. And I think, I mean, obviously your family is not my family, but in a weird way, we were all kind of family because that's just how the church school community existed. Yeah, that had to have been like, I wonder what that experience was like for friends of ours who went to school there but didn't go to church there, or vice versa, where there was kind of like a separation. That had to have been,
I don't know,
a different experience.
Yeah, we should talk to them now as adults because I would be so curious to hear what that experience was like for them. But it was very unique, especially unpacking all of that as an adult. But at the time, it was just so normal for us.
Did you ever accidentally call her mom in class or anything?
I don't remember. I'm sure it probably did happen, but I don't remember it being like a big ordeal.
Yeah. It's crazy, like years later, when we both ended up working at the school, to then have like people like your aunt and uncle and then be our colleagues. Like that was a very bizarre, it's interesting, like circle of life kind of situation of like how those things change, but also how things still felt the same. I don't know, like your mom did feel like a colleague in some regard, but then it also just she's always seemed like Miss Terry, you
I
know?
know.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I don't think I've even really, like, thought back on that very much as, a young adult working with my mom and with my aunt and uncle. But that part of my life is so special and just so like I think back of it so fondly because working with you and having those experiences, it felt like we were living in a real life mockumentary.
Yeah.
But I think you and I were the only ones that saw it that way. It just like didn't quite feel like real life. And it was all very funny to us. Like it was very
Yes.
amusing.
I remember
Um,
sitting at Fabiano's one time, and we were, I think, mapping out what, like, our version of The Office would be like if we
yeah.
were to turn we felt like we had such good content from these years of being, like, teachers specifically in that kind of a atmosphere of, like, this is a story that would, like people would, like, eat up,
Oh,
you know?
100%. I still think it would do so well. I think a couple, of projects have been done that are really similar, but I still think it would do really well because it just was like too good to even make up. Like the scripts were just writing themselves.
Yeah, it was, like, just the right amount of, like, weird little kids and,
Yeah,
like, just I don't everybody just it's such a strange environment to be in.
right.
Um, Growing up, yeah, what are some of your, like, favorite or memories of, like, when we were kids? Does any, like, especially, like, between church and school, again, like, all of it just, like, blurs together for me, I kinda
Yeah,
forget
it's
what
all the
was
same. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all my memories blur together too, but I have so many fond memories, but one in particular stands out to me. We were young. I don't remember how old we were, but we were at your house and we made up this like big production. Do you remember this?
Yeah, in my bedroom?
In your bedroom.
Yeah.
And we made, I think it was maybe when my mom came to pick me up, we made your mom and my mom like sit on the couch
Yeah,
and
and
watch.
I remember this because we had a lamp in our room that my mom had let us buy, like, a colored, like, light bulb to. So we had in my mind, we were, like, putting on a production because
Oh,
we had,
yeah.
like it was probably, like, a red or green, like, light bulb light. I think we probably had, like, the light right out to, like it was our stage lighting and
Yeah.
everything. What do you remember what we did?
I do. I have a very specific memory. So I think that we might have cut up construction paper and held it in our hands and tossed it like confetti. Do you remember that?
I vaguely do, yeah.
And I also remember that we sang Send It On Down.
Oh, okay,
Do
I
you
thought
remember
that might
that?
be yeah. Lord, let the Holy Ghost come on down.
Lord,
Lord, we're
we're
your
your
children,
children,
and
and
we
we
are
are
asking
asking for you
you to
to
send
send
your
your fire.
fire. So good. Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Did your mom sing did she do the solo on that?
I think so. Yeah.
I That's my favorite thing, I think, when I think about that era of my, like, church-going experience is those, like, early to mid-90s years when Lithia, like it was like this perfect, like, weird mixture of, like, kind of like the Brownsville stuff was kind of taking
Yeah.
off, so you're having some influence from that, but there was also this, like, Southern gospel aspect to it, and we I still didn't like I didn't know there were other kind of churches out there yet, so it all felt
Right.
very real to me, but, like, there's, like, the Pentecostal influence, and I just loved those Sundays because your family is so musical
Yeah.
when, like, the Spirit would just be leading, there'd be no boring
Those
preaching.
were the best.
Yeah.
Even though I love my grandfather.
Yeah, but we would just like the music was so good, the choir,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah.
I loved "Send It On Down." What was another song I loved? Um,
Do you remember I have such vivid memories of my mom singing Midnight Cry, and she would start crying,
yeah,
like, 2
yeah,
words into the song and, like, could never make it through,
yeah,
but that was,
wow.
like, one of her, like, her songs.
Jesus steps out
Yeah.
on his cloud to call his children. So, yeah, wow, I forgot about that song.
We just played that at my grandmother's funeral earlier this week, so it's quite the throwback.
Wow,
Yeah.
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 Who's there? Is that Michael English? Is that
Mhm. Yeah.
wow. Yeah, I've not thought about that song in a while. Your mom al I think it was your mom or someone did "Lily of the Valley." What was that? Do you remember that song?
No, I don't think
I'll
so.
have to look that one up, yeah. The choir was great, those robes were great,
I
everything,
know.
I just have such, like, good and, like, they used to go to, like, choir competitions, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was the name of the choir? Spirit Song?
Spirit Song.
Yeah.
It was very, like, a Sister Act, honestly, thinking
Yes.
back on it. They took it very seriously. Um, yeah, it was non-denominational, but very much had that, like, Pentecostal and Church of God influence on everything. So it was like everything really was a production, including the choir. And
Yeah, it
do you
was
remember,
top
like, the
notch.
Easter and Christmas productions? Like,
Love
those were
Story?
huge. Love Story,
Yeah, that was my
yes.
first, like, I feel like, real foray into
Breakout,
acting, yeah.
yeah.
I can almost like I can probably tell you the exact story of like the storyline of that. I loved that.
I did
I wonder if
too.
those videos are out there somewhere. That'd be amazing to see.
We need to track those down.
Yeah, I do remember there was, I don't remember what the joke was, but there's something because like the girl in it was supposed to represent the church, and like her like the
I
love story
forgot
with
about
Jesus or
that.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And I remember there being some sort of like funny little bit at one point where she's like in her bedroom
yeah,
pulling out different dolls that like represented, I guess, like earthly things or different religions or
yeah.
something. Cause there was like a Baptist joke in there. But I remember there being like a Bart Simpson or something. I don't remember what the joke was, but
Gosh, these are like
um,
you're unlocking memories.
yeah.
I remember her doing a bit like she was supposed to be a young girl in her bedroom, and she was doing a bit like she was a preacher. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yes. Who played the girl?
Kara White
Yeah.
did it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for several years. I
Did
feel like
Aunt
maybe somebody else
did
did it.
Andrea Pettit ever do it? That feels like something she would have
Oh,
done
yeah, it
maybe.
does, doesn't it? Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tim was Satan,
Satan, of
and he was
course.
like so good at it. It was like kind of scary.
Mhm.
Now I'm like hearing the music too, like the like whenever you first meet him and he's wearing that sparkly thing, and
Oh my god,
yeah.
yes.
Um, wow, I would love to see
I
that
haven't thought
again.
about this in so long. I also remember one of the scenes being like, I don't know if it was like put on the armor of God or like army of the Lord or something, but
Yeah.
we were in like camouflage. Do you remember that? Is this the
Yes.
same production?
It is the
I
same
think it,
production,
yeah.
yeah. Because I do remember, because I think that we were also like angels at some point or whatever. I remember we had like a
Yeah.
costume change, and that to me that felt very like professional.
Oh yeah, this is like the real deal.
Yeah, and were we just kids and it felt like it was a massive success, or was this like a sold out production every
I
year?
really no, like I vividly remember it being a packed house and we did like multiple shows. Like it would be like
Could you
all
hear
weekend
that?
long. No, I
Oh,
couldn't.
I just
Was
cracked
it
my
your
neck.
neck?
I was cracking my neck,
Oh,
yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, it was like a 3-show weekend, or I mean, there were
Yeah.
like matinees and stuff too, I think.
Yeah, there were matinees and, like, every single one would be a packed house. So it really was, like I'm sure we probably, like, overinflate, what it was because we were kids, but, like, it really was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, I mean, that was the stage there is like very small at that
Mhm.
church, but like we had like, I mean, like high production values. Like there were like stages built,
Yep.
there were like the lights and everything. Like it was,
It was a
how did we
huge
pull
deal.
that
I
off?
have
I mean,
no
like
idea.
no one was professional. Like
Was it Lanier?
I guess Lanier and
Did he
like
make that happen?
and Judy
And
Eskins,
Judy,
but she like
yeah.
wasn't professional either. But I guess they like learned. I don't know. I mean, vividly remember her being like up on the ladder, like adjusting lights and putting
I
like
do too.
gels in and
I do
stuff.
too. I remember being in backstage waiting to go on Dress as Little Angel, and, at the end, Jesus comes out, and it's the bride of Christ, and so my aunt dressed up. Do you remember that? As a
Yes.
bride, like, in a wedding dress.
Yeah, your Aunt Melissa.
My Aunt Melissa, and
Oh,
so
because she was the older version of
she
the girl, that's
was
right.
yeah, so Kara played, like, the young girl, and, but I remember how cool it was, like, hanging out backstage with Jesus.
Yeah. I do have this vivid memory of one of the dress rehearsals, which I think were always, like, kind of fun,
Yeah,
and, oh my god, what was his name? Who played Jesus? Bryce?
Byron.
Byron, no, yeah,
Yeah,
we just talked about him, yeah.
yeah.
Byron did, like, a cartwheel down the middle, like, down the center aisle or something, like, being kinda goofy, and that, like, sticks out, but we had a lot of great productions there too, because I vividly remember, like, our when I went to college, when I went to college for acting and everything, I was so in my mind, I thought I'd had this, like, great upbringing in
So
the
much
arts,
experience,
and
yeah.
then when I, like, went to college and met all these people who, like, did, like, real community theater and stuff, I was like, "Oh, I've never even heard of Death of a Salesman or anything." I've never heard of these things, but, I thought I'd had, like, such an and I do think I genuinely did in a sense, but I thought we did, like, some pretty incredible even, like, our little, like, elementary school plays and stuff. I felt
Do you
like we
remember the one with, like, the little news station?
CNN Celestial News Network?
So you do remember.
I do. I could sing you the song, CNN, Celestial News Network, CNN, we bring the news to you.
My jaw is on the floor. How
Yeah.
do you remember I must have been just young enough that I don't remember, like, many details about that at all, but I, like, vividly remember seeing, like, the news desk and it being, like just that feeling, like, it brings back such a unique feeling, like, the nostalgia of, like, being part of a production like that.
Yeah, especially that one, that because our school was so small that it was, like,
Yeah.
all ages, and I mean, I remember being young enough probably those early years when we did Love Story, I was probably, like, I don't know, 3rd, 4th grade maybe,
Yeah.
and, like, the older kids, like, obviously seem so cool, and they all seem so talented, and, like, they're the stars of the show, and then with CNN, I had, like, my own, like, little, like, line at one point,
Oh my
and
gosh.
because we
You're
did
like, "I
that
have made it."
I know, and we did that play I have this vivid memory, okay, we did that musical as, like, a kids' church, like, Christmas musical through the church one
Yeah.
year, and then the next year, or maybe even that same year, we also did it as the school's,
Oh,
like,
interesting.
kids play, and I remember we were in, like, choir practice or whatever doing the songs, and it got to the part where it was I was, like, the correspondent from England or something, and it got to the time for, like, me to say my little, like, 3-sentence line, and it got quiet, and your Aunt Sherry was like, "Scotty," and, like, no one had told me that I was also playing the part in, like, the school production too, and I was like, "Oh," like, in my, like, 5th grade friends, I, like, stood up and I, like, did my lines or whatever, and, since then, I've been chasing that high ever since.
You peaked in 5th
Yeah, it
grade.
was my, my big moment. I was, like, the star 5th grader, you know?
If you were in 5th grade, that means I probably would have been in 1st grade, maybe?
Yeah,
2nd grade,
maybe.
something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, my details, or my memories are not as detailed as yours.
I would say from a school perspective, I think our most prominent recurring production was our, Christmas Carol, which was
Yeah.
basically Muppet Christmas Carol, but
Yeah.
without Muppets. And, yeah, that one I remember thinking that do you remember Gabe McLemore and Caleb
Yes.
McIntyre? They were the Rizzo and Gonzo.
Yeah.
I remember thinking they were so funny, and then the last time I guess my last Christmas going to school there, I got to be I was the
Oh, you
Rizzo the Rat.
did?
I was Caleb's role, yeah, and that was my last big, like, production.
We have got to find videos.
It's gotta be somewhere,
Yeah.
yeah. Jordan was Tiny Tim, like, 3 years in a row.
Was he really?
Yeah,
I think I do remember that.
yeah. Wow, those are the days.
Those were the days.
Didn't they do that? So, years later, I remember coming back, I think maybe it was your maybe because I remember I came back to teach for, like, a year, and then I kinda, like, left for half a year, and then I came back, but I remember I came to help you paint, like, a brick wall or something.
Oh my gosh,
'Cause were they doing
yes.
Christmas Carol again?
I can't remember what production they were doing, but I do remember painting the set. Who the hell put me in charge of
Yeah, how did that
painting a
happen?
set? Or children in general, for being
That's
honest, but
true, yeah. That was it. I don't remember what you were there teaching. I do remember
oh, I was, in charge of the high school art class. How did that happen?
oh,
I think I was still in college, and so that was just kind of like a
I think you're
part-time.
right because there
Yeah,
was, like, a exchange student, I think, I hope so, who, I remember you and I met at Borders one time in this kind of era to, like, I don't know, shoot the shit and,
yeah.
like, grab coffee, but we were also meeting you were, like, meeting a student there or something to, like, maybe get prepared for college or something. All this is, like I haven't thought about this, it's just now coming back now. Was
Yes.
she an exchange student?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you were helping her, like, prep for
Yeah, you're right. I
college or
cannot remember
something.
her name, but yes.
I miss Borders. I We have a Barnes& and Noble here in Fargo, which I never go to, but I have vivid memories of just a mall bookstore in general. It's
Yeah,
such a, like, unique experience that doesn't exist anymore, but specifically
it
that
doesn't.
Borders was, like, again, something out of a TV show almost.
It really was, and I would always see people that I knew when I was there. That was the hangout spot, like, on the weekends when we started driving, I just remember, like, that's what we did on Fridays and Saturdays. We would just go hang out at the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
times.
it didn't
It's
feel
not a thing
dangerous or
anymore.
yeah.
No, mm-mm.
I loved that food court there, and I loved the movie theater there, and I
Yeah,
had when I was in high school, all of my friends, at Airway, we all loved movies, and that was just kinda how we would spend our time is, like,
yeah.
going to the movies as this, like, giant group, and, we would always go to Taco Bell, and even, like, in the summer, we would always wear jackets and things, and we would fill our sleeves with, like, tacos and stuff
And
to
sneak 'em into the movies.
smuggle into the movie theater, yeah.
That's hilarious. Mine and Lloyd's first date was at the mall at Arbor Place. Did you know that?
Wow, I did
Yeah.
not know that.
I thought it was so cool and, like, I was being so aloof and casual by, like, saying we should just go to the mall.
That is really cool. Did y'all just walk around, or what did you do?
We ate at Chick-fil-A in the food court. I think we might have gone to Borders, as one does. Maybe I don't remember. I vividly remember Chick-fil-A in the food court.
I would love to go back there. I would love to see what it's like now. I'm sure there are probably aspects that feel the exact same, and I'm sure it feels
Probably.
drastically
Yeah,
different.
I cannot tell you the last time I darkened the door of
I would
Arbor
say for
Place
the
Mall.
first, like, 10 years of that place, it was just pumping and, like,
Yeah.
thriving, and it was just, like, the greatest place. I actually remember I had this crazy experience, my ninth grade year is when that opened, and I had moved to Airway with a few others, which is, right across the interstate kind of from where Arbor Place is, and that weekend, me, Jenna, Derek Jacobs, Ben Williams, like, that whole, like, crew. We had watched the movie It, like, the 1990, like, version of
Oh,
It. We
yeah.
had watched that, and it was, like, really fun, and, then we came to school, and so this had to have been, like, first couple weeks of us going to Airway, so we're kinda new there, and we went to go change classes from, like, the main building to, like, the little side building, and when we walk out, there were just balloons falling out of the sky. And it was, like, so weird and eerie because we had just watched It, and then this is
Oh,
happening, we're like,
creepy.
"What?" And, then we realized it was the day that the mall had its grand opening, they did a big balloon release, and all these balloons traveled across the interstate and were, like, landing in, like, downtown
In
Douglasville,
Airway.
like and yeah,
Weird.
but it was, like, such, like, kismet that it happened to be, like, the day after we had just watched this, like, terrifying clown movie, and, yeah, I have, like, all these, like, weird, like, little memories like that of, like, my childhood. Even, like, at Lithia or at the mall, I mean, I remember being at I don't know why I'm laughing about this. I'm gonna cut that out. I remember being at the mall interviewing for a job at the Disney store
Oh
when
my
I
gosh.
found out that Miss McIntyre had died.
Oh, no.
I know. I don't know. I guess I must have been, like, a text message or something. I don't know. But I remember being, like I was, like, in the person interviewing me had, like, gone back in the store to get something. We were sitting on the little bench.
So it's, like, in the middle of the interview.
Yeah, we were
Oh,
sitting on the bench
no.
kind of outside where that store was. She had
I
gone
had
back.
forgotten about the Disney store being there. It was, like, right off the food court,
Yeah, it was like
wasn't it?
if you're looking at the movie theater, it was, like, to the right
To
of
the
the movie
right.
theater,
Yeah.
yeah, and,
Wow.
she had gone back into the store to get something, and I looked at my phone and saw that Miss McIntyre had died, and I'm gonna cut this story out. I don't know why I'm telling but yeah, it was, like, so, like, I don't know where I'm going with that.
Did I ever tell you about the time I shit her pants at an overpriced mall? Did I tell you about that?
No. Do you do you wanna whisper it to me?
Okay. On a Sunday night, they used to do these, like, shopping events, so, like, the mall would stay open late.
Can I keep this in?
Okay, maybe I'll, like, retell it and not say my okay, hang on.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so the mall. Do you have any memories of the mall?
I do, yeah, I have a very vivid memory. My cousin and I were there shopping, and we were not driving yet, we were young, I probably, like, 11 or 12, and so we were there with a trusted adult in our lives, and she told I'm not gonna be able to get through this. My cousin and I were shopping
It's Whew, okay.
I can't look at you.
I need to drink some water.
Have I really never told you the story?
I don't know, it's kind of sounding familiar, but which cousin?
Kaylee.
Okay, you and Kayla. Maybe I okay, yeah, okay.
So we were shopping in Aeropostale,
Mhm.
and what do I even call her if I'm not saying
I'm keeping all this in. Yeah, your chaperone.
our chaperone said that they needed to go to the bathroom. And they kinda just took off and, like, left us in Aeropostale, and we were like, "Oh," so we started following, and she was just, like, walking really quickly and then, like, took off running, and so my cousin Kaylee and I, like, were just running after her, and we started smelling something really weird, and, I wish that I could give you a play-by-play. I think it's one of those things that you just, like, had to be there, but, like, at one point it was like she was in a race where she had to, like, pass the baton off to the next person, and so there was, like, a lady that worked at the department store that was, like, waiting to, like, grab the baton is how I, like, remember it, and this lady that worked at the department store just started running alongside of her to show her where the bathroom was.
Wow, and she understood the issue here, like,
She
got it.
knew immediately. Like, I think it was a very frantic situation, and we were all running at, like, full speed, and, so, yeah, she helped her find the bathroom, and it did not end well,
Oh, no.
and, yeah, my cousin and I had to go shop, and I feel really bad. This is somebody's, like, most mortifying story that I'm telling.
You know what? I would say almost every person in the world has their own
Oh god.
version of this in some
Yeah,
regard.
for sure.
I mean, not me, but
I do. I think I have multiple shitting my pants stories.
It's funny at the mall, Jordan shit his pants at the mall
Oh, he
at
did?
Sears. Yeah, and I remember my mom, I was at school late because we had a basketball game, and I was waiting for her to come pick me up, and she was running late because they had been stopping at Sears really quick, and Jordan, who was kind of aloof, uh, had to he waits till the last minute to go to the bathroom all the time anyways, and couldn't figure out where the bathroom was, and it just happened. And so they just like dropped everything in Sears and left. And then my mom like made him like strip down to like nothing in the parking lot and left his like shitty underwear like just in the Sears parking lot. And then she took him home, and because I guess it was like a really big mess because then she like went and like shampooed her like car or cleaned her car
Oh,
and then came to
no.
pick me up. Like, so that's, like, the event, like, that's why she was late, yeah.
Do you remember when Garrett used to do that?
Shit his pants? Um, no.
He also was like Jordan and used to just wait till the very last minute to go, and I think just, like I remember that being a thing when he was young, like, "Oh, Garrett shit his pants again."
We should talk about all of our friends, like, their poop etiquette, because I remembered, Pamela has, like, a problem when she drinks, like, milkshakes or anything. She has to go
Really?
right away, and she is always really quick about it too, and I don't know if that's just as a guy, like, none that is not a quick thing. But I just remember I remember vividly being in Chick-fil-A with her one time on Highway 5, and she drank a milkshake, and then she, like, went to the bathroom, and, like, she was done so quickly, but it was, like, every time she had, like, milk or whatever, she, like it went through right away.
Is that not normal?
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, is that a lactose intolerance thing?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or an IBS situation.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Maybe I have perfect bowels.
Should we just tell everybody's most embarrassing stories for them?
Yeah, let's do it. Just, like, rip it all out,
Okay.
yeah. Who should we go to next? Should we just go through your whole family?
I have a lot. A lot
I
that
do
I
wanna
could
go back
share.
okay, I do wanna go back to school really quick, because I
Okay.
wanna talk about some of the, like, routine things that were part of our lives that I vividly remember. Um, our weekly schedule was pretty set. We had church Sunday mornings,
Yeah.
church Sunday nights, 6 o'clock. We had choir practice on
Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
We had Wednesday night church,
Mhm.
um, choir practice Thursdays, and then there was probably other stuff randomly during I mean, we were,
Yeah.
like, together almost
All the
every day of the
time.
week,
Yeah.
yeah. And I really liked the days, like, on Sunday sometimes where it was, like you would even, like, spend the afternoon together, like,
Yeah.
at someone's house or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's, like, always been, like, a thing that I used to love, especially the older I got, whenever I could, like, drive and stuff too, that was always, like, a fun, I don't know, it felt like there was so much time in the day then too, and we
So
spending it
much,
all
I know.
together.
I guess we didn't have any responsibilities.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, going out to eat after church was always, like, a big deal? Yeah.
Yes. Shoney's. Was
Shoney's,
that on
yeah.
chiropractic? Was that a Wednesday night thing?
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't
I
remember
don't
what day it
remember.
was. I remember going to Shoney's, your your sister, your cousin Kaylee, or maybe it was you, introduced me to, at the salad bar, getting the, like, diced ham and ranch dressing.
That sounds like a Kaylee thing.
Yeah,
Although I do remember doing that.
I remember, like, it just being, like, the best little snack
Yeah.
ever. So good, yeah. I wonder if that Shoney's is still there.
I don't think so. I don't know. Are Shoney's still around?
I don't
I
know.
don't know either.
That Shoney's was well, Thornton Road was, like all those little businesses were, like, bustling. That
I
Chick-fil-A
know.
was always crazy. That
That olive
Shoney's had, like,
tree,
a
do you remember that?
Olive Tree, I
Yeah.
forgot about
Mhm.
that. I wonder if that's still there.
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Okay.
Olive Tree, Lithia Springs. What was your first job?
At the school, of course. Um,
Olive Tree is still
is it
there.
still there?
It's open right now. It closes at 8:30 tonight. Should we go?
Should we go? Let's go.
It's closed on Sundays. Wow. It still looks the exact same too. That's insane. Your first job was at the school?
Yeah,
Doing what?
my first job was doing after school care and summer day camps at the school.
Summer day camp.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
That was so fun too.
So fun.
Ooh, let's see if we can remember what the days were. Was Mondays and Fridays were
Monday was Sun Valley, I think, wasn't
yeah,
it?
were
Sun Valley
Fridays Sun
Beach.
Valley too?
No, Fridays were Sparkles
Okay.
skating.
Mondays were Sun Valley. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, R.I.P.
Did that ever become something? It was supposed to become a Christian, like a Christian school campus or something.
Oh, I don't know.
What were Tuesdays? Was that
Something boring like
like
library or
library?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one movie day. We would go to the movie
Maybe that
theater.
was Wednesday.
Yeah. I think that was Wednesday.
Maybe Thursday was like a craft kind of a day.
Yeah.
And then Friday.
I made $6 an hour.
That's how much I made at Six Flags when I worked there.
Really?
Yeah. Not a lot of money.
Not a lot.
No,
Not a
not at
lot.
all. My first job, though, was Chick-fil-A on Highway 5, and I made $5.15 there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I also spent a few days working at the Chick-fil-A on Thornton Road.
A few days.
A few days. I think it was, like, not even a year, but I do remember good old Chick-fil-A days.
Wow, that is such a, like, rite of passage, I feel like, for
Yeah.
people in Georgia.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder which one was I felt Thornton Road was probably the busier one of the 2.
Probably.
That line was always insane.
Mhm.
So, hey, so school, summer day camp, what was your next job?
My whole life revolved around that
School
place.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't think I had another job until I went to college, and then I worked at Ruby Tuesdays.
I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
in
In
Carrollton?
Carrollton, yeah.
Oh, I think I forgot about that.
Mhm.
And then after college, is that when you went to when did you start at Ulta?
I started right after we stopped teaching.
Oh, that's right, duh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, and then you were there for a while.
Mhm, I was there for several years, did a whole lot of makeup and skincare things, worked in the beauty industry.
My favorite Ulta story of you is is when you went to go to your car one day.
I was just thinking about this the other day.
You went to and you, like, got into someone else's car.
Fully in and was, like, sitting in the car, and I don't did we scroll on our phones back then? I
Yeah.
remember being in there long enough that I, like, started looking around, and I got scared because I thought somebody had been in my car because there was, like, something hanging from the rearview mirror that I thought, "Oh my god, somebody has, like, been in my car and hung this." And then I started looking around, and I remember, like, a towel or a blanket or something on the passenger seat. I was in somebody else's car for long enough that, like, had they noticed it from inside wherever they were, like, they probably would have called, like, 911. Like, I was in it for an embarrassing amount of time to have not realized that it was not my car.
Was your first instinct, like, someone broke in and they left all this stuff? Is that what you were like is that what was going through your mind of, like, "This towel, like, whose is this?"
Yeah, and it was, like, for some reason, I thought it was, like, nefarious, like, they did it to, like, scare me.
Oh, wow,
Like,
yeah.
"I've been here, I'm watching you," kind of a
Wow.
situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then when you got out of the car, did you just, like, scurry away really
Oh,
quick,
wait,
or
like, so fast.
is this
Like,
when you
ran.
were driving Jocelyn's old car?
No, I was in a white Honda Accord.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And that's a pretty common car, so I could see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess that's back when people just didn't lock their did you think you had unlocked your car and it just happened to be unlocked?
I have no recollection of that. Like, the
That's
only thing
so
I
funny.
vividly remember is, like, being like, "Oh my god, somebody broke into my car," and then fully realizing that I was the idiot that was sitting in somebody else's car.
Uh, I feel like I have so many good car memories with you of more of our adult years. Like, growing
Yeah.
up, we had a lot of we were, like, again, like, close. I don't even think we realized how close we were growing up just because that was just the state of, again, the environment that we grew up in.
Right.
Then as adults, when you're being more intentional about, like, how you're hanging out, I feel like I remember going to La Fiesta on Thornton Road,
Yeah.
and we would, like, be in there for a while, and then we would end up in the car, like, just talking for, like, hours
Hours.
sometimes
Yeah.
about, like, people, like, that's I can think when we were both kind of, like, starting to maybe uncover a little bit of our, like, maybe religious trauma and things like that, or just kind of, like, finding where we were in the world
Yeah.
now. And then even, like, when you worked at Ulta, I remember meeting you out there at, like, Chipotle or something, and we
Yeah.
kinda saw there, and we would just then sit in the car and, like, chit chat forever, and, those are, like, such fond, like I think I was in a point in life then where I was very much kind of lost a little bit,
Mhm.
and I think you were always, like, you were good, like, in between of where I felt like my life was headed and, like, the still pieces of the past that were comfortable and, like, part of, like, who
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
So I will, like, never take those, like, moments for granted. They were always, like, really helpful.
Yeah. Same. I feel the same way. I feel like looking back on most all of my core memories from childhood, I feel like you and your family were there and involved. If it was something that was, like, you know, instrumental in my life, like, y'all were always, like, a background fixture in my life. And then some of my really core memories, like, fully involve you, but, like, I remember seeing you on the news, and, that is, like, such, like, just a core memory. Like, I don't know how else to describe that. Like, I just will never forget that, seeing you and your brother and being worried to death about you guys. So, like, yeah, it's such a weird I feel like we've gone through chapters of our lives where we've been super close and then have grown apart, but I feel like you're just the kind of person in my life that I can see you and it's like we haven't like skipped a beat,
I think that's kind of a testament to like then the community aspect of how we grew up,
Yeah.
where for better or worse, I know we've hinted at like there is like a lot of like trauma or things. I don't know, maybe even trauma is too dramatic, or maybe I don't know, maybe it's the right word,
No, I feel
but
like it's trauma.
um, those things like that exist, but there's still like good that came out of that, and I think some
Yeah.
of that sense of community. I think maybe that's kind of what I've always like kind of searched for anywhere else
Mhm.
I've gone. Is like there are pieces of that were genuine and were real connections, and like even that, I'm sure, regardless of who that was, that would have been maybe a scary thing because it was someone you knew. But
Yeah.
the way we all grew up and were intertwined, I mean, again, it's like your family going through
Mhm.
something, and um, yeah, that was I actually I guess I'm gonna take back what I said earlier, that fifth grade little supporting role was not my first star. It was when my family was on the
When
news.
you were on
That
the
was like, "Oh,
news.
I'm gonna chase this forever." When's the next drama? At school, who was outside of, like, family people, who were, like, other teachers that were, like, because we had a lot of similar teachers growing up. Who were other
We
teachers that
did.
really stuck out for you?
Yeah, Mrs. White and Mr. White were, like, such, I was gonna say characters, they're not characters, but, like, they just were so prominent in my childhood, but I actually never they were never my teachers. They taught,
Oh,
like, Sunday school, for me at church, but by the time I had gotten to high school, they had moved on to, other, I'm like my ADD is, like, really kicking in. All I can hear is that piano.
yeah, I hear it too. It's like it's hitting that one note over and over again.
Yeah.
I hope they get it tuned by the end of this.
Um, yeah, I would say Miss Eskins, oh my gosh, like so many of my high school memories. And then when I started working there and, being colleagues again, it's so funny. Miss Eskins was such a fixture.
She like you, like so I did have Miss White. She was my 5th grade teacher.
Oh, did you?
Miss Eskins was never my teacher. Isn't that
Weird.
crazy? I mean, she again is this prominent figure that
Yeah.
existed my entire life. I
I'm really sad that you missed out on that because it was quite the experience having
Yeah.
her as a
I
teacher.
mean, I feel like I had components of that. I mean, like
Yeah, you did for
aftercare
sure.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in her classroom watching Independence Day or Mission
Yeah.
Impossible and stuff. And but yeah, I never actually had her as a teacher. I have this. There's this adorable photo. I think I sent it to you before of her holding me whenever I'm like maybe 1 or 2 years old.
I also have photos of her holding me as a
Yeah,
baby.
and she has this, like, very glamorous, like, '80s look about her, and, like,
Yeah.
she's, like, that Judy smile and, like, little me just sitting there, and it's, like again, I remember it now thinking about how we've had a chapter in our lives where we were colleagues. It's, like, crazy to
I
think about,
know.
like,
Yeah.
wow, she probably changed my diaper or something, I
I
don't know.
know. Isn't that weird? Yeah,
Um,
full circle. But I will say, like, a shout out to Judith because she was really a great teacher. A lot of people were scared of her, and when she got, like, kinda in those moods, like, she was kinda scary, but she, like, cared so much and wanted everybody to, like, understand, and math was my favorite subject and went on to do, like, multiple calculus classes in college, and I credit that to Judy.
she also brought a lot of structure that I think in that kind of a school setting, especially with community like that,
Mhm.
where that's where, like, those blurred lines can come in and be a little bit of a negative influence on your
Yeah.
surroundings, and I think she did a pretty good job at trying to keep that balanced and create some structure that maybe didn't exist in other places.
Yeah.
I had fond memories of Miss Saylor.
Yes.
She was my teacher, like, 3 years in a row. We were at my 6th grade class was her first class at Lithia.
Oh,
Yeah, so
wow.
we were, like, her first.
Did you guys do
uh
the toothpick bridges?
Yeah, I think we did that. I remember my 6th grade year was the year that either was the year that Titanic came out or it was, like, the year right before Titanic came out, but everyone was already talking about it.
Mhm.
And that was such a huge thing, and my favorite thing about Miss Saylor was she was really good about understanding who we were and what was interesting to us, and she would figure out how to incorporate that into whatever she was
Oh,
doing,
yeah.
and she, like, whenever she realized we all cared about Titanic, she leaned into that. All the girls loved Felicity, the American girl,
Yeah.
and so she leaned into that, and we did, like, a little, like, Felicity play one time at chapel and stuff. She just, like, found
That's
whatever
cool.
interesting to us, and she
Yeah.
made sure that we got to explore that with whatever we were doing, and I think that whenever I became a teacher, I think I incorporated that a little bit into what I, like, did too, because I realized how that really made things, like, connect for me.
I also did the toothpick bridges when I became a teacher because
Oh,
that was, like,
fun.
such a formidable, is that the word? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, like, uh, something that we looked forward to with her, like, you have arrived, you've made it when you get to do that with Miss Saylor. She also took us on our first overnight field trip, which was a huge
Was it
ordeal.
to the zoo?
No, my class didn't go to the zoo. We went to Tybee Island.
Oh, I did that one
Did y'all do
too.
that? Yeah.
We did that one and we got in trouble.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, in the middle of the night, which I think she encouraged a little bit, but I think we were in middle school. It was either 7th or 8th grade, maybe 7th grade. I think that some of the boys in our group, like, took the freedom a little too
Took it
far,
too far, yeah.
and we did go to the mall, like, our first night there, and we bought, like and she knew this, and we bought I think she knew it. We bought shaving cream and, like, balloons and stuff, and, like, at night, we were gonna do a little, like,
Prank on the
yeah,
girls.
kind of a thing, and I think the girls were kind of, like, in on it too, but I feel like someone, like, incorporated rocks at one point, like, a window got busted or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just remember it kind of, like, ruined the fun a little bit,
Oh, no, it turned into a crime.
and one of the boys on the way back, when we stopped at a gas station, he bought a condom out of the, little machine in the bathroom, and,
Was it the kid that used to wear the baggy Jinko
yes,
jeans?
Cass. I don't remember his last name.
Yes.
Cass bought a
Yes.
condom, and I think it was glow in the dark or whatever, and I mean, I think I was just young enough that I didn't quite understand what that was because I was a very
Oh, we were very
innocent,
sheltered.
naive,
Yeah.
yeah, 7th or 8th grader, but I remember him, like, holding it where you could, like, look in his hands, like, to see, like, it glowing in the dark.
Stop.
She found out somehow, and I remember, like, the next week at school, she gave this, like, very tearful because she really
She
cared
probably
about
got in
us,
trouble.
and she, like, very much, like I think she didn't want us to grow up too fast.
Yeah.
And when middle schoolers especially, like, that's a very fine line.
Yeah.
And I think it just kinda broke her heart a little bit that some of us were growing up faster and maybe corrupting others. I don't know. I just remember her and she was also pregnant at the time, so maybe that fed into it. I just remember her weeping to us about, like, being good people and stuff after that. And when I look back, I'm like, "Oh, it's, like, a little silly," but she really cared, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's funny.
Uh
Yeah, she was a great teacher.
She was good. That school building too, is wild because I remember as as a kid, like, whenever we get, like, storms coming in and stuff, that was just, like that building always was just because it was, like, a tin roof and everything, it was just a
Yeah.
wild experience, and then as a teacher, my fondest memory is when we had started enacting, like, active shooter drills and
Yeah.
everything. I was in my classroom, which, had, like, the attic space in the back that was, like, attached
Mhm.
to the middle school rooms and, like, went down, and I had forgotten that we were having a drill that day, first off. And then the way that the alarm, like, cadence was supposed to be to alert you what kind of alarm it was, I had gotten it mixed up, and so whenever it happened, I thought it was an active shooter drill, so we went and I had, this was the 11th grade girls, it was a small class, it was Jalen, Alexandrina, and Brittany, and then maybe one other kid, I don't remember, it was a very small group of girls, and me, and so we went into my back attic, get in there, get them to hush, and during these drills, the middle schoolers were always so loud, and you could hear them in the attic space, and I was, like, really impressed by how quiet they were being,
At any
and
point did you think, this isn't a drill,
well,
this is like
if
a real.
at first I thought, "Oh, we're just doing really well," and then the longer it went on, that's when I was like, "Wait a second, like, oh, shit, like, is this real?" And then I think the moment my demeanor changed trying to figure that out, because I think I started texting you maybe, that's when, one of the girls specifically started panicking,
Oh, no.
because then she thought it was real, and then I just remember saying, "Girls, the walls in this building are so thin that if someone was shooting it up, we would hear it," is what I kept telling
I
them.
thought you were gonna say, "The walls are so thin, the shooter is gonna hear you. Hold it
Yeah,
together."
shut up. But I just remember thinking, like I was kinda trying not to panic, but I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, what's happening?" Then I finally get a text back from you or somebody that's like, "We're back in our rooms," or something, and so we come back out, and I go down to Lisa and Barbara to be like, "Hey, like, what happened? I'm so sorry we didn't, like, check because it was a fire drill."
So
And
we're all outside.
yeah, and, they're supposed to go around and, like, check the, like and I went down and they were like, "Oh, you weren't out there?" And I
They
was like,
probably checked you off.
"Yeah." I was like, "No, you had an
Ugh.
entire class up here that was not out here in the fire drill because we all thought it was an active shooter drill, like, we're just burning alive in this fire." Uh,
Yeah, that's pretty on par, I think, for.
yeah. I mean, at least we were doing drills. I don't remember doing any drills as a kid, but maybe I just blocked all that out. I
I
don't
don't
know.
either, yeah.
That building was probably the safest building to be in if there was a tornado, though, all those cinder block
100%,
walls.
yeah. I have a very vivid memory of it being a really bad storm, and I don't remember if power went out, but I was young, and we were all in the lunchroom, and I can't remember if it was still a gym at one point and then was converted into there was, like, an upper story classrooms and
Yeah.
stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because that was, like, the new side.
The newest side of the building. So I can't remember what, you know, if it was still a gym at the time, but I remember all of us being like the whole school was congregated in that room and somebody started singing After the Rain. Do you remember this?
Oh.
I can't remember. I feel like it was Chris Gage and maybe
Oh,
like some
maybe.
of, because they're, is he older than you? A
Yeah,
little bit?
like maybe 2 years older.
So yeah, it was like the older, kids were like singing, like leading praise and worship songs while there's like tornadoes outside.
That reminds me of my, September 11th experience at Airway. Like, it happened, and then we all kind of, like, found out about it, and then we end up they didn't have class the rest of the day, but we didn't have TVs in any of the rooms. We weren't watching that. We all just sat in the lunchroom just kind of, like, praying and singing praise and worship songs all day.
Yeah.
That was my, 9/11 experience. You just reminded me thinking of that gymnasium and people like Chris Gage. Another thing that I feel like they did really well at Lithia, and again, maybe it's like this everywhere, but it felt so incredible to me, were our pep rallies.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were always so good.
Huge.
And
Yeah.
I think even now I find myself I think things like that, if I had to, like, trace my mind back to, like, how, like, and how I look at things professionally and, like, especially, like, brand marketing and things, I think my experience at Lithia and my experience working for Coca-Cola are the things and it's so weird, it's like there's a little bit of a through line here of, like, I remember caring so much about our school and, like, I had so much, like, pride in the Lions.
We bled purple, silver, and white.
We did. Yeah, I'm embarrassed to tell this story, but when I turned, like, 9 or 10, I had a birthday party, and the activity at my party was decorating shirts for the pep rally.
I'm dying. That is
Yeah.
so funny.
My mom bought little, like, white and purple, like, T-shirts and got little, like, that, like, weird, like, glitter gel, like, paint stuff, and we all did little lion prints on our shirts and
It
everything.
was such a big deal. So, as I got older and you guys left and went to another school, um, it was our sports declined pretty significantly. So, like basketball, we didn't even have a football team anymore. Basketball was not as big of a deal. So, we did cheerleading competitively. So, we would still cheer like the basketball games and stuff, but like our competition cheer squad was like what it was where it was at. And so, I remember feeling that same like sense of pride with that. I mean, we won every single year that we competed. And I remember sobbing uncontrollably when we would win first place every year,
It was
like
so thrilling.
thrilling.
I remember as kids, like, I mean, again, I don't know if other people's life experiences are similar or not, but even as kids, I remember really I don't care about sports,
I
but
don't
as,
either
like, an
at
8 or
all.
9-year-old, I remember, like, running around the gym, like, with you and, like, our, like those, like, friends and stuff, but, like, it was always like, the games were always so exciting. They would
So
always be so
exciting.
close, and we're just like do you remember the one game when Ryan Pettit
I
got
was
punched?
literally just about to say
Yeah.
that to you.
That was
Yeah.
also I also, like, have always loved drama, and that was, like, such a good, like,
He
piece.
got punched.
He got punched or something, yeah, it was
I
the
remember him getting
harvester.
injured, but I don't remember what happened
Yeah, it was, like, another
exactly.
player, like, just, like, got angry, like, punched him on the court.
So I remember vividly us being crammed into the back of your mom's car. Do you remember this? And
Yeah,
we
her trooper.
prayed. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we're going to the hospital or what.
Maybe.
It feels very Friday Night Lights,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah. It's
Like
like
I
the Christian, because I would say, at least in our neck of the woods, Christian schools, basketball was, like, the
the
sport.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was,
Yeah.
like, our Friday Night Lights where, like, you were at.
The basketball games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So funny. I mean, I had to be so young. I can't remember. I also remember very vividly there were two brothers that went to the school, and I cannot right now think of their names, but they got into a car accident, and your mom worked in the office with somebody else. It might have been Mrs. White, and they had just gotten the call. We didn't know what was happening, but we were outside on that. Remember the giant rock?
Mhm.
Me and my cousin were standing and playing on that rock. And I remember your mom and somebody else, I think it was Mrs. White, running out to their cars. And like, I remember it so vividly. Like, their wind was like blowing in your mom's hair. She was running so fast. And we were like, oh my gosh, something horrible
I
has
vaguely remember
happened.
was it, like,
It was something
Micah and
Harden. Micah
Micah Hardin
Harden.
and was it Matt?
Matt?
I think they were related to me somehow, but now I'm, like,
Oh,
forgetting.
really?
I think they might have been, like, Chris's cousins or something.
Oh, we're going to have to look them up.
Yeah, wow, I totally forgot about that. I also completely forgot about The Rock. It was like Pride Rock.
Pride Rock. How could you forget about that
Yeah,
thing?
that thing, I remember feeling so brave jumping off of it
Me too.
because it was so big. I wonder what it's like now, yeah. That
Yeah.
field, I that field, I have so many, like, vivid memories of this place, and everything is so we've talked about this before. I've had so many dreams that take place on this property,
Yeah. Same.
um, and they're all so specific. That playground is so specific to me,
Hmm.
that big metal slide,
Oh my gosh, yes, I was just about to bring that
everything,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to unpack a lot of that in therapy, still working through that, but yeah, just about every single dream that I have that's vivid enough that I can recall happens there on that property.
And I've had a ton, and, like, and every I can still remember the way it smells, like, everything. I'm
Yeah.
wondering yeah, I'm wondering what that is. Do you think that's a trauma thing?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Same
psychoanalyze
with
that.
the church. I have these great memories of racing under the pews, like, rolling under the pews.
Yes.
Racing, yeah,
Yeah.
that was great. I can still remember kind of, like, what it feels like to be up on the stage. The old wooden,
Yes.
podium that used to be
Yep.
there. Yeah.
I remember when they were doing the expansion. Do you remember when they
Yeah.
built, like, the wings? I roller skated before they put carpet
Oh,
in.
cool.
Yeah, I roller skated around the church.
I feel like that construction started when I still went to church
Yeah.
and school there, and I think it slowly I think we by the time both those sides had opened is when we had kind of moved on to another church at the time,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Which I don't know if you remember what happened. I have no idea what happened, but that was a pretty significant milestone in the life of the church because it was kind of a split, I guess. And a bunch of people left the church and the school at the same time. And it kind of like started a new era
Yeah.
at the school and the
Yeah, because
church.
there was, like, maybe a 2 or if I remember correctly, there was, like, a 2 or 3 year period of time where, um, like, everything had thrived really well, and then for some reason, people, like, left to go to Spirit Life. A lot of
Hmm.
people, like, fled to go to that church, and then a lot of people went to go to Airway for the school like, a school,
Yeah.
and it all kind of happened in the same, like, couple of
Yeah.
years. Yeah, I wonder what, like, the driver was.
I don't know. I'll have to maybe ask my parents, see if they remember.
I do know that, like, if I remember back, like, things before, like, the reason, like, Miss White and them started working at the school is because Douglasville Christian had, like, closed down. So it's
Oh,
like
yeah. I forgot about that.
they closed and then they migrated to the other, like, schools. And then I think a similar thing happened with, like, when Spirit Life
Yeah.
it was Austell Church of God, and then it became Spirit Life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because it was, like, new and fresh, but I think there was all they, like, Miss Pettit and them, they also taught at the school, but I'm sure there was, like, influence there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure that was some of it, and I'm sure there's probably some behind the scenes things
I'm sure
too.
that we just weren't aware of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a very like, that's a very distinct, like, before and after era, I guess,
Yeah,
when I
and it
think
all was,
back.
like, right around, like, the new millennium too.
Yeah, it was.
'Cause I remember, like, Left Behind and all that kinda stuff being such a prominent thing when I was still at Lithia.
Yeah.
And I think, even, like, Love Story, all these, like, plays and stuff were about, like, we're kind of leaning on the idea of, like, we're going home soon, the rapture's coming, midnight cry, it's gonna happen.
I
Uh,
still have rapture trauma.
yeah, so my family, when we would go on, like, road trips, we would listen to the books on tape of Left Behind, and, I mean, they were captivating, and they were good, I thought, and then I remember laying in bed one night, and I think just people in our neighborhood were, like, out, like, maybe it's, like, drunk teenagers. People were out, like, making noise outside, but it was just a different kind of a noise than I usually hear of people,
Yeah.
and my first thought was,
Rapture.
"The rapture's happened,
Yeah.
people are starting to discover that people are missing," and so I got up, and I went to go, like, peek into my parents' room to, like, make sure they were still there
Yeah.
because I
Same.
thought I'd been left behind.
Same. Yeah, my grandmother got us the kids version of Left
Oh,
Behind, of
yeah.
the Left Behind series, and, like, that was so traumatizing. I remember vividly, like, if I would wake up in the middle of the night, I always thought it was gonna happen at midnight for some reason,
Yeah.
and
Midnight
if
Cry.
midnight cry oh my god, why have I never put that together? So yeah, if it was after midnight, I would go and make sure my parents were still in their bed.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Again, trauma.
So much
What a
trauma.
strange, like, manipulative way to get people to, like, unconditionally love someone.
I know. I still sometimes I will still talk about it sometimes, and my husband will joke that he is going to my husband, like, you don't know who Lloyd is. Lloyd will joke that he's going to, like, leave his clothes and my son's clothes laying somewhere, and I was like, "I cannot mentally handle that. It's not funny. It's not
It's a
funny."
tiny bit it's funny in theory,
In
in
theory,
practice, maybe
yeah.
terrifying. Did you
Yeah.
ever go on trips, like youth group trips to Tribulation Trail or Trail of
Yeah.
Decisions or anything? Those are also, like, crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder if those things still exist.
I hope not.
Yeah, those were why and again, like, there was, like, a thrilling aspect to it, and it totally makes sense why they marketed that towards teenagers,
Yeah.
but in hindsight, what a load like, just what a crazy ministry to do.
Yeah. Um,
Wild.
yeah, Lloyd had similar, experiences with his upbringing, which I would say is very similar to ours. So he didn't go to, like, the tribulation trail, like, the same ones that we did, but still very, like, scary and traumatizing.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
why we promoted that, but
yeah.
yeah.
so bizarre, and then also, like, there were elements of it that felt very, like, Lithia to me. I mean, everything was, like, production value, high quality,
Yeah.
and I think on that regard, like, understood too, but yeah, just, like, the again, like, the strategy of, like, that being the way you're gonna, like, win people to the Lord is such a, like, crazy
I know.
yeah, and that time period too just felt very we were all Y2K was, like, scary.
Yeah.
I will never I will never forgive my family, my parents for I mean, I love celebrating things. I love a good reason to have a party or celebrate and like a pop culture thing. And when Y2K happened, I love New Year's. I loved watching the countdown, like the Times Square thing. And that year, I don't know if it's because it was Y2K or because we had just recently started going to I guess we'd probably been at Spirit Life for a little while at that point, but Spirit Life would do these, like, prayer services on New Year's
Mhm.
where you would, like, pray in the new year, and I just remember, like, already hating the idea because I was like, "This is, like, the I wanna watch
The
Dick
world
Clark
end?
and stuff," and then specifically Y2K, that was such a, like, thing,
Yeah.
and, yeah, I was at church, like, praying in the millennium when that happened, and I, like, will never get over that. I don't know, like, if that I don't know, I guess I get it because we were, like, religious people, so if the world was gonna end, I guess that's the place to be,
Yeah.
but in hindsight, I would have rather have, like, been eating Velveeta cheese dip with my friends and, like, I don't know, watching Ricky Martin or something, I
I
don't know.
don't remember. I have no memory other than, like, being scared that the world was gonna end, but I don't remember that New Year's at all.
Yeah? How old were you I guess you were, like oh, you were
I
only
was 5th
12.
grade.
Okay, so, like, 10,
Yeah.
11.
Well, yeah, I would have been 12, so maybe not 5th grade. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe 11 go you would become 12 that
Yeah.
year, so
Yeah.
yeah. Huh. Wow. What, what do you think that, like, from that time period I know we've talked about a lot of things, but what do you think from that time period of your life, just childhood in general, do you think this is getting deep. What do you think of that has, like, shaped your, like, view of the world in the most positive way?
Oh, in a positive way? I feel like you and I kinda talked about this, earlier. Um, that sense of community that we had, even though it was such a, like, sheltered, secluded, somewhat manufactured sense of community, I still think it was very real. And I think I have searched for that ever since. Um, I think that in and of itself is really positive, like having people in your life that you can I hate it's my biggest pet peeve when Christians say like doing life together, but doing life together. But having somebody that you can call when you have, like, something so traumatic, like, when you see your friend end up on the news or, like, if there's a car accident or, like, a couple years ago, my husband had a significant health, event in his life, and, like, having those people that will show up for you no matter what, I think that was such a beautiful thing. And, of course, like, the through line was faith and church, and a lot of that came with trauma and manipulation and things that I think we still are dealing with as adults. But I think just having that sense of community was like such a fun, beautiful thing. And like, I'm kind of sad it's over. Like those really were like the good old days.
I find myself really appreciating things that, like, I never grew up, like, as a musician or anything, and, like, I wouldn't call myself a singer, even though I think different points in my life, maybe I could carry a tune better than others,
Yeah.
and I have great memories of, like, being on stage with you, like, singing songs and stuff, but
Yeah.
I
Same.
think, my love and appreciation for music, I think, came out of there too,
Yeah.
because your family's so musical and very talented, like, musicians and singers and things
Yeah.
too, and I think that is the piece of I'm glad that that's the kind of for better or worse, the kind of church that I grew up in was one that embraced that kind of music
Yeah.
and, like, whatever, like, the new thing was, because music really moves me, and I also, though in my older years, could also see how that could become a manipulative tactic too, to, like,
Oh,
the
for sure.
experience of
Yeah.
church, but regardless of that, I think that's another thing that I always think about you whenever I think of, like, highlights of, like, things in my life, or if I think about a song that I haven't, like, heard in a while, you usually are, like, in there somewhere, like,
Yeah.
like, when I think about, what's that one song? You Won't Relent, when I think about that song, I
Yes.
know
Yeah.
when I sing that together, I remember this one time actually at Lithia, I think when we were trying to restart, like, Sunday nights or something at one point, your dad was, like, leading
Yeah.
something.
We called it shift.
Yeah, shift,
Yeah.
and I think you and Lloyd did You Won't Relent, and it was just, like, so beautiful and, like, moving, and, like,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone was, like, crying, and I, like, think about, like, those things that, like, stand out too. I actually I started to make, like, a playlist of songs that made me, like, think of you were, like, that time let me just see if I can think of, like, find some of them. You Won't Relent is on here, Testify to Love is on here.
We were just talking about that at lunch.
Yeah, Let's see. Michael W. Smith is on here. Shackles, Mary Mary.
I feel like you also need Trading My Sorrows.
Yes. Oh, I should add that on here.
Yeah.
I also put Carmen on here. Riot. Yeah. Do you remember Anointed? For the
Yes.
sake
Of
of
the
the
call.
call. Such a good song.
I loved them.
Rich Mullins is on here. Shane and Shane. Yeah. Anything choir related. Enemies Can't. Oh my God. Enemies Can't. I just thought of a vivid memory. Do you remember the time when we were at Colonial Hills watching like the middle schoolers play basketball? We were adults at this time. We were sitting in the stands having kind of one of these kind of moments where we were just kind of like talking about being kids and talking about songs we would sing. And we were just like cracking up at different like memories. I just remember people kept turning and looking at us. I don't know if you remember this. And I just remember sitting in the bleachers there watching these like middle schoolers play bad basketball. And we were like singing, went to the enemy's camp. And we're just like going over that.
Every time I think of Enemies Camp, I think almost every time we played it at church, like the conga line would break out.
The conga line.
I don't know what you call it.
You're right.
But it was like essentially
the spirit would move.
And there was another song.
I feel like Bobby started that a lot. Do you remember Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she started that a lot.
And Sister Taylor.
Sister Taylor, yeah. Wow, yeah.
There was one song, it was Enemies Camp, and then there was another one. He healed my body, he touched my mind. Do you remember that? He saved me just in time. I'm gonna praise his name. That one people would.
Was that also like a Brownsville song? Because I think Enemies Camp was like.
It had to be.
Was that Lindell Cooley or whatever?
Lindell Cooley. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow.
Ray Boltz.
Ray Boltz. Gay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. What a time.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really, really fun.
I know.
I do think to wrap this up, I feel like you're a lifelong friend for sure. I think my favorite thing when I tell people about you, it is kind of that thing of like, we've had different moments in our life where we'll go like months without seeing each other and then we'll like see each other, or we'll go years, or we will only see each other in passing, or maybe grab food or something, or then we'll work together for a couple of years. Like our like trajectory in life has always somehow ended up where our paths are crossing. And even right now, it's been, I guess, until this past summer.
This has been the longest season, I feel like, which is you and I both went through like a really significant life shift at the same time. In 2018, I think, was when you moved up here. And that was when I got pregnant with my son, very unexpectedly. And I think we both just went through like a huge life change at the same time. And I cannot believe that we have gone this long without like really being part of one another's lives. So,
but I still feel like even when we would check in, I think it was always from a place of care, even if it was like, there were years where it was kind of like quiet. But I think when I saw you back in July for the first time in 6 or 7 years, I don't know how long it had been. You really are one of those people that just like literally picked back up where
it feels like we have lost no time at all.
I even feel like we talk about a lot of the same things every time. Same teams every time. I think we talk about a lot of the same things every time, but I think part of this because we have such a shared experience and like the foundations of our lives are very similar, that I think in a weird way that's probably part of our like trauma bonding or something. Our comfort
totally
is to like, let's talk about these same people again. Let's like laugh about the same kind of things. But I don't know. I don't have that with anybody else. So I'm glad that I have that with you.
I know, same.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to. So that was like our childhood. So we'll have to do this again and
talk about adulthood.
Yeah.
Like how we got to here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be part 2.
Okay.
Stay tuned, everyone.